roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many roads must
I hear Jerusalem bells were ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you go there was never an end.
The recent Nagaland killings of 14 civilians may be shocking to the world. Unfortunately, it is not shocking news for the Nagas. It is not a new thing. It has been going on since 1954. Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru invaded the Naga Hills in 1954 and created the Armed Forces Power Act, 1958, out of humiliation, anger, and hatred for the Nagas. Jawaharlal Nehru suffered a public snub by 3,000 Nagas, who walked out booing and waving spears, from a meeting he addressed, on March 30, 1953. Since then, whenever the Indian security forces feel like killing the Nagas, they do it without remorse. A killing spree has been going on since 1954. Rampage killing was almost the order of the day. Women were raped in the open field, in full view of the villagers. Men were butchered, and decapitated. And they did this with pride and honor. Many of them do it for awards and medals. And to many of them, it's almost the same as killing a Chinese army. In a situation, the Indian security force is known for shouting, "If they attack us, we will kill your people." This is intrinsically the attitude that guides the Indian army. Indians who are ignorant of this history expect and want the Nagas to shout Jai Hind. If you say you are an Indian, you must know best about freedom. After all, India fought for her independence from the British Empire. India was under the rule of the British Empire for more than 200 years. They must learn to respect others' aspirations for self-determinism. First, India must apologize to the Nagas for the invasion. Second, India must apologize for the brutal massacre since 1954. Third, the Armed Forces Special Power Act, 1958 must be revoked. Finally, recognize and pave ways for peaceful coexistence of two entities. The Indo-Naga Framework Agreement was primarily based on 2 points. 1. The recognition of the unique history and position of the Nagas. It means the Nagas were never part of India, either by consent, or by conquest. In other words, it means the Nagas are historically, not Indians. 2. The recognition of the supremacy of the Indian Constitution. It means the Nagas will be under India. These 2 points are mutually agreed upon by the two entities, after recognizing contemporary realities. Now, let's take a look at the Indian map, and see the Naga areas. You know how small it is. Moreover, the NSCNM has agreed to a Pan-Naga Council, without redrawing state boundaries. What possible harm could it do to India, if the Nagas hoist billions and trillions of Naga flags, in their tiny state? What possible harm could it do to India, if the Nagas have their constitution, based on their culture and tradition? The Indian constitution is broad enough to accommodate this. The argument that others may follow suit, is coming from the unwillingness to grant more autonomy to the Nagas. Look at the call for justice and call for employment. The number of pending cases at the court, and the number of unemployment are soaring up. The Indian government cannot fulfill all demands and wishes. However, the Naga case is historically unique, and genuine. Therefore, India should recognize the Naga flag and constitution, because solving the Nagas' political issue is in the interest of India. It doesn't hurt India's border security, but it is strengthening it.